Hello folks, this is my first fanfiction ever, so go easy on me. This is a Cody-centric story with main fan and pairings developing as time goes along. Otherwise, most canons will start out the same. And after the 2-day wait period I noticed that a similar story title has been posted, so I will try to make sure mine is different. Oh, and for the record, I have no freaking idea about boats, so I would love for all of you to bear with me. Without further ado, watch and enjoy. All the contestants are rescued by a cruise ship after the events of Total Drama World Tour. Well, all except for Alejandro, who is in intensive care by a robed Chris, and Ezekiel, who is sent to a mental institution. Back on the ship, our favourite Gap-toothed Geek narrowly escapes his stalker, who has mastered the art of wheelchair stealth and takes cover under a table in the upper deck. He noticed there were 6 people around him. First was Harold trying to impress Lashonna with his attempt of a tan and actually working. Boy, how does he do it? Cody asked himself while surveilling the upper deck. He then noticed his gothic crush smiling and laughing in the arms of the meanest contestant ever. Third only to Alan Courtney, Duncan. Gwen, of all people, why him? The geek said to himself. Cody sided with Gwen over all the cheating fiasco simply because he believed Gwen would eventually see what a jerk Duncan truly is and dump him. But it seems it was to no avail. Trying to distract himself, he notices DJ talking to his fish Irene, probably still superstitious over his curse. Finally, the geek sees Heather, sitting by herself, depressingly staring off into the ocean. Cody, still wanting to distract himself from the goth and the punk, as well as avoid his stalker, walked up to her and sat at her table. The queen bee instantly glared at him. "What do you want, Terp?" She snapped right at him. "Heh, just seeing how you were doing," Cody responded with a gap-toothed grin. "Me? I am doing just fine. I mean, I just won $1 million, only for it to be destroyed by a feral prairie boy, and to top it all off, I almost get crushed by a molten boulder. Thank you so much for asking," Heather remarked sarcastically, as if he had to ask. "Well, it can't be all bad, for what it's worth. At least this time you went out with everyone cheering for you. They only did it because they hated Alejandro a tad bit more. I don't believe that. With the exception of distracting me, you played pretty legitimately. And don't think I didn't notice your subtle acts of compassion towards Courtney and Sierra. But if that's not enough," at the risk of getting Sierra's attention, Cody shouted out across the upper deck, "Hey everyone, who here forgives Heather for all that went down back on the island?" "Oh, make a scene, why don't you?" Heather said with sarcasm once more. "I think you changed, Heather." DJ sweetly said across the deck, "I can trust Cody's word." Harold added, much to Lashonna's dismay. Duncan shrugged, and Gwen only rolled her eyes. "Not the turnout I expected, but a good start," Cody reassured. "Why do you care what people think of me?" Heather interjected. "I don't know, maybe it's just me buying time from being found by Sierra. Maybe it's that getting on good terms with more and more girls will improve my chances with the one I love. Or maybe it's just that I thought after all we've been through as Team Amazon and throughout Merge we'd at least be able to be considered friends." "Don't push your luck, nerd face," Heather shot back. "Hey, fair enough." Cody chuckled and proceeded to walk away. Just as Cody was going to leave, Heather stops him. "Do you really think there's good in me?" Cody turned and grinned once again. "Though the competitive tension sometimes gets the best of you, I think deep down you're not so bad." "Thanks, nerd face," Heather responded, refusing to look in his direction. To break the awkward moment, they heard a stalker's voice. "I thought I heard my Cody-kins. Cody, where are you?" "I gotta go," Cody said as he jetted from the scene. Heather watched him leave with a smile right before stubbornly shaking it off. Previously, on Total Drama World Tour, Hawaii, our challengers raced up the volcano, avoided falling objects, and locked lips. However, it was Alejandro who took the icy slide down the mountain, leaving Heather as the victor. However, due to an unforeseen pineapple-related eruption, our celebration was cut short. Not to mention our stubborn homeschooler felt the need to snatch the reward for himself, only to plunge into the volcano with it. Shame. After I gave the briefcase to Heather, it was no longer the show's responsibility. Now, 3 months after the cook-off, our contestants reunite. Thanks to the profits of Season 3 just exceeding the destroyed plane's cost by a hair, we are throwing in one last season for our old contestants. Who will win the prize, let alone keep it in the end this time on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Here we are, post-erupted Hawaii, only fitting to start the show here. Since this is our biggest budget season yet, we are milking our victims, contestants, for all they're worth, so this means all your favourite schmucks and schmuckettes are back. No benchwarmers this time around. Out of nowhere, the former host of Celebrity Manhunt walks into the frame. That's right, everyone's favourite gal, Blaney, is back in the game. Mildred announced, except you, what are you like 30? We want drama we can legally show on TV. Interns, let me go, do you know who I am? The nameless interns drag Blaney away. As I was saying, our actual contestants have just arrived via cruise ship. First came one of the original winners of season 1. Alright, one more shot to win it. Awesome, yeah, because the show hasn't exploited us enough yet. His snarky best friend Noah said, not seeing his optimism. Ezekiel, having finished his therapy, steps out. Word, 2 months of therapy, and the Zeke is back in his prime. Check it, his introduction was interrupted by the sounds of a seething Queen Bee. Ezekiel, where's my $1 million? The Queen Bee angrily follows him off the boat. The time period since last season allowed the rest of her hair to finally grow back as it was in season 1. There it is, the once again normal-ish prairie boy pointed up in the air only to dash off at the Queen Bee's distraction. Get back here. The Queen Bee shouted, giving chase. Next, our favourite athlete stepped out. Watch out, caused Tyler's back to the The athlete tripped on the steps of the boat and crash-landed face-first into the sandy beach. Skylar, are you okay? Lindsay, his dim-witted girlfriend, asked, concerned. It's Ty. Ugga. The stalker Fangirl wrapped her arms around Cody's head. Aren't you excited, Cody? A whole nother season with you and me. Cody grimaced. Yeah, and my parents had to lift the restraining order for the competition. Stupid Mr. and Mrs. Anderson wouldn't let me camp in front of the Cody household. Sierra's body had fully recovered from the explosion. Her hair had mostly grown back. Her braided ponytail was all that was missing. In a matter of seconds, just about everyone boarded off the ship and onto the Hawaiian beach. The last contestant to appear was none other than a fully recovered Alejandro. Un was shocked. Wow, Al, how did you recover so quickly? Even your hair is back to normal. Alejandro glares at the chubby blonde before masking it with a sly smile. Simple, my Latin blood remedies my body at a much faster rate. Heather stops strangling the Zeke and turns to her former romantic adversary. Ah, Heather, my little heartbreaker. Nothing personal. I just liked winning more. Heather returns the remark while smugly looking the other way. Gwen steps in to break the tension. That's right, it's just a game after all. No need for any vendettas to ruin everyone's fun. Alejandro grins once more. You're right, Owen. No hard feelings, the Latin heartthrob says as he walks away. A few minutes later, everyone gathers in front of Chris and Chef. All right, sailors, you're all probably wondering why I call you that. Well, that's because for this season, we are traveling the world once more, on boat. There a better title you can give us than sailors? Duncan asked. Chris thought for a bit. How about voyagers, mariners, buccaneers? How about seamen? Noah jokes. The cast chuckles. Keep it PG, Noah. At any rate, we will be sailing from destination to destination on cruise ships. Will it be as claustrophobic as the plane was? The goth asked. Far be it for us to interrupt you making out with other people's boyfriends. Courtney angrily responded. Dude, princess, get over it. Duncan unsympathetically responded. To answer your question, it'll be entirely up to you. Cody raised his hand. What does that mean? Chris is up to something again. Sierra looked at Chris with one eyebrow raised. Harold raised his hand. We gonna be singing in this one? No, some of our songs just weren't different enough to dodge the copyright laws, it turns out. Also, we received numerous complaints about your rapping, Harold. Harold folded his arms. Before my time? Gosh, anyways, since I'm feeling generous today, I'm gonna let you guys pick your teams. Everyone cheers, and by you, I mean our 3 winners of the past seasons. Duncan and Heather, come forward. Oh, sweet, I get to pick my dream team out, Gwen said ecstatically. Well, Gwen is a given, but it's hard to figure out from there on. Duncan thought. Heather raised up a finger. First, I need to secure an alliance. I still have many enemies here. Let's go in alphabetical order, shall we? Duncan, you're up, followed by Heather, then Owen. Then I pick Gwen. Gwen, clearly happy with his decision, rushes to his side. Cody sighs. Guess I should accept what is best for Gwen. But it's so hard to. Enjoy your happiness while you can, Gwen. I will make your time here a living hell, Courtney vowed. I pick Cody. Heather chose. Cody walks up to her. I'm flattered by being picked first by a team, for once in my life. But can I ask why? I need a secure alliance to have my back, nothing more. Heather nonchalantly explained. I just like to help, I guess. Cody says with a grin. Noah, get over here, buddy, Gwen said while motioning to come over. Lashonna looked at the camera. I hope Duncan chooses me next. Me and Gwen didn't part on the best of terms last time. I would love to patch things up with that white girl. Lashonna, Duncan chose. Heather wondered to herself. Sierra pushed her hand up childishly. Ooh, pick me. Heather smirked. Control Cody, control Sierra. It's called strategy, not to mention her drama smarts comes in handy. She just better lay off on the stalkerism. I need my alliance to focus after all. Cody rubbed the back of his neck. Don't get me wrong. Sierra will always be a best friend of mine, and if I can work with her to take her fandom in moderation, things will go out great. But as a girlfriend, I don't know, a stubborn part of me still wants to hold out for Gwen. Sierra Heather chose. As if on cue, the fangirl tackles the scrawny geek. Ho Cody Muffin, we're a team again. Yay, Cody said sarcastically. Who's next? Owen wondered. Lindsay pointed at her boyfriend. Ooh, choose Taylor. Okay. Come on over, Taylor. Taylor looked down. I give up. DJ Duncan chose. Bridget Heather chose. Tyler put his hand on the big guy's shoulder. Choose Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay. Lindsay jumps into the arms of her tracksuit-wearing boyfriend. Jeff Duncan chose. But dude, I kinda wanna be with my girl, Jeff replied. I said, I choose Jeff, Duncan stated again. The last thing I need is my party animal friend to get distracted and screw us up like last time, Duncan stated. Bridget sighed. Maybe it's for the best. I mean, making out is what eliminated us both at the studio. I just hope the competitive tension doesn't break me and Jeff up like it did for just about everyone else. Trent, Heather chose. The guitarist skeptically walked to her group and high-fived Cody. I pick. I don't know, the big guy wondered. Chris pointed at his wrist and non-existent watch. Tick-tock. Owen notices Justin apply suntan lotion to his bare chest. Justin? Noah pinched his forehead. If it weren't for Izzy, I could have sworn he'd be. Dude, you gotta pick me, gosh, Lashon, it's on your team. Duncan scoffed. Whatever, I picked Doris. Yes, Heather looked around. All that was left was Beth, Katie, Sadie, Izzy, Eva, Ezekiel, and Alejandro. Heather sighs. Well, I play to win. Courtney, Cody groaned. Cody sighed. Courtney, in my opinion, is much meaner than Heather. I have not forgotten when she almost strangled me to death back on the island, and the frequent times she's hit me since. Also, I would be more sympathetic to her over the whole Duncan-Gwen fiasco. If she was more sympathetic of me getting eaten by a shark. I do wonder if she was always this mean. I remember Harold telling me that on the island, she was much more kind. If it was dating Duncan that did this to her, then I can't help but fear that he may bring out a worse side of Gwen as well. Nah, must have been from Harold getting her eliminated. Breaking up with Izzy was one of my biggest mistakes. Maybe I can patch things up with her this time around. Owen admitted. Izzy, Beth, Duncan chose. Katie Heather chose. Sadie Owen chose. But I want to be with Katie. Katie's other half complained. I want to be with Sadie. Sadie's other half complained. The host grimaced. Can we move this along? The pair tragically parted ways. They were two different people? I didn't know. Noah joked. Guess I'll take Eva. Duncan decided. Alejandro or Ezekiel? I pick Ezekiel. So I intend to win every challenge. On the off chance we lose, Ezekiel is going first. In the meantime, I will make him regret burning my million. Besides, after what happened last time here, I am pretty sure me and Alejandro are done. A crotchot and a frozen ride down a volcano is kind of a difficult roadblock to get past. After a bit of silence, Owen made his choice. Al, I guess. Alejandro silently walks to Owen's group. Sorry for picking you last, Al. No hard feelings, mi amigo. I understand that my manipulative ways was not sportsmanlike. I will humbly work my way to the top just as Heather did. Really? Really? Wow, it feels good to know Al has turned over a new leaf, Owen said obliviously. Alejandro pointed at the screen, and this time, I will make you all pay for what you did to me, especially you, Heather. Okay, passengers, you got your teams, the host announced. The punk raised an eyebrow. passengers now. I'm just trying a few as we go along and seeing which one clicks the most. Now team names. Duncan's team is the Screaming Admirals, Heather's the Killer Captains, and Owen's the Rabid Skippers. Noah scoffed. Yeah, skippers. That sounds real intimidating. So do we get back onto the cruise ship? Justin asked. Oh, that ship took off. Remember Gwen's claustrophobic question? Well, it was entirely up to all of you because your teams will be building your own cruise ships from a junk pile as part of your first challenge. For all three groups groan. You call this luxury, Heather yelled. Chris smiled. That's the beauty of this game. Start from rags, or in this case, junk pile, and through victory after victory you will increase the quality of your cruise ship, be it interior or exterior. Consider that the first class of this season. Lindsay's eyes gleamed upon hearing that. Ooh, can I put a shoe store in mine? Better do a good job. They're expected to last this entire season. Not to mention that it will be on your ships where your eliminations will take place. For if you are voted off, you will take a life jacket and plummet from the plank of shame. Chris then turns to the camera. Will our naval officers make it to sea, or will their chances for the cash sink? Find out next time on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Last time on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Our soon-to-be shipmates return to Hawaii for the new season. Our past three winners chose their teams, and now the three teams begin their first challenge of building a boat. Will the team succeed, or will old conflict rise anew and tear them apart? Find out right here on Total Drama Luxury Tour. The host turns to Chef. Does shipmates sound good? Put it on the maybe list. Welcome back. All right, Blue Cats, any questions before we get started? Lashawna raised her hand. Is this a race on who builds the boat the fastest, or who builds the best design? Both will be taken into consideration, the host answered. Each team huddles up to figure out how to get started on their first challenge of ship. Cut to the Screaming Admirals. Duncan rounded up everyone. All right, first we get the stuff we need done first, bells and whistles later. I just hope it floats. You know I'm not so good at swimming. DJ hoped. We don't have much to work with, Beth announced. Don't worry, I built a boat before. I am sure I can do just as good on a bigger model, Duncan reminded after recollecting his experience in Sweden. DJ, Eva, you two and I move all the heavy parts. Beth, Doris, you two work on the sail. Gwen, Beth, Lashawna. Work on the interior. Good leadership, Duncan. Gwen complimented. I learned from organizing juvie breaks. Duncan and Gwen exchanged chuckles. I really hope my curse finally lifted. I think it may be what destroyed my team last time, DJ admitted. Duncan just wouldn't lay off the Doris names. Gosh, Harold complained. I really hope we finish this soon. Feels like forever since I made out with Bridge. Chef whined. Eva sighed. Okay, I don't like being bossed around, but since this is my first season since the island, I better control myself. Cut to the Killer Captains. Cody gives a depressed sigh after watching Duncan and Gwen work together. Focus, Cody, Heather angrily barked. Okay team, this is what's going to happen. Since our muscle is lacking, we're going to need Trent and Courtney to do all the heavy lifting. What? Courtney responded angrily. You seem so confident back in Greece, Heather smugly reminded. Bridget, you know water better than all of us. Any ideas? Shipbuilding is a bit of a stretch from surfing, but perhaps I can make something work with the bottom of the boat since I know what floats, Bridget pointed out. What do you want me to do? Ezekiel asked eagerly. Either build the sail or be our anchor homeschool, Heather yelled, clearly unforgiving over the last experience she had with the prairie boy. Ooh, I can weave us one. Not the ideal material, but it still can work, Sierra jumped in. Also, I can use that skill for the exterior design of the ship. All right, Cody, Katie, any ideas? Don't worry, the code man has already drawn up some blueprints, the Gap-toothed Geek announced proudly. Not bad, Cody, Trent praises. I suppose that is impressive. But if you build us a steel Gwen, I will drown you, Heather threatened. Well, as for me, I repaired motorcycles before. Maybe that talent can be applied here, Trent added. Cody sighs. Gwen. Sierra put her finger to her chin. Okay, this is a bit bad. Every Total Drama fan knows that the team with Screaming in its name always dominates the team with Killer in its name. I really hope we can overcome that. But hey, anything is possible with Cody on your team. Oh, I cannot stand Heather being team leader. I gotta get people to vote her off with me. Bridget, Katie and Trent don't like her, so maybe I can work an alliance with them. After she is gone, I will devote all of my power on crushing Duncan and Gwen, Courtney vowed. Cody better stay focused on our team. I will not let Gwen distract him. Because I need a strong alliance, of course, Heather reassured herself. Heather is still mad at me for what happened. I don't get it. I said I was sorry, Ezekiel complained. Katie looked off into the distance. I miss Sadie. Cut to the rabid skippers. All right, everyone, let's do it. Owen encouraged. That's it, Noah asked skeptically. I just thought that sending everyone off to do their thing would work out in the end. We need designs, schematics, and actual ingenuity towards shipbuilding. Noah reminded. Don't be such a naysayer, Noah. You forget both me and Owen are experienced shipbuilders. Alejandro brought his facade to Owen's side and wrapped his arm around him. Come on, team. We can do this. Anything you say, Alejandro. Sadie dreamingly applauded. Thanks, Al, Owen said graciously, leaving Noah scoffing. Cadet Izzy is better at destructing than constructing, Izzy proudly announced. Lindsay picks up a beam and accidentally bonds Tyler on the head, knocking him unconscious. Oops, sorry, Tanner. Okay, Tyler is incapacitated. Come on, team, we can do this, Alejandro cheered. Noah pinched his forehead again, this time harder. People don't change. They learn, but they never change. Sadie looked off into the distance. Alejandro is so dreamy. I don't get it. Alejandro comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I'm invisible. I'm more beautiful than he is, aren't I? Justin asked concernedly. We so have this. I knew Al wasn't so bad, Owen mistakenly assured himself. Alejandro grits his teeth. If Owen calls me Al one more time. Tyler sits unconsciously on the confession toilet. Hurry up, sea dogs. Hee. Sea dogs, that's a keeper. The teams work hard to assemble their ships. Thanks to Cody's simple and comprehensive schematics, the captains had the edge in design. However, the muscle advantage in terms of construction speed goes to the admirals. As for the skippers, they are going at a steady pace. You call that a ship, skis? Heather taunted the punk and his work in progress. I call it the SS. Suck it, Heather. Duncan responded as Gwen laughed at the burn. Jason, you gotta work harder, Lindsay scolded. Sorry, it's just that I never did this kind of thing on my own without charming someone else to do it for me. Also, this metalwork might break one of my nails, Justin apologized. Don't worry, Cadet Izzy will hold them for you, Izzy announced as she grabs one of Justin's fingers and tears the fingernail right off. The model girlishly screamed due to a torn index finger. Cut to the screaming admirals. Doing well so far, guys, the punk praised. Duncan, the goth approaches Duncan. What is it, babe? I need to tell you something really personal. Shoot, it's just that we need a bathroom installed in the ship. Hee, no problem, babe. Hey, dweeb, get us a toilet seat, why don't ya? Alright, gosh, Harold obeyed reluctantly. Hey, where did Jeff go? Lashana asked after noticing his absence. Cut to the killer captains. Is that flag done yet? Heather inquired impatiently. Here it is, whoa, Ezekiel said, carrying the flag before tripping over tearing it. Oops, sorry, Alga, you are completely useless. Heather groaned. I thought I would get back at him by working him to death, but it looks like the inbred destroys everything he touches. Ezekiel slapped both sides of his face. Come on, Zeke, you better than this, I can't get voted off right away for a third time. There, the bottom is done, Bridget proudly exclaimed to herself. Good job, Bridget. Trent praised the surfer girl. I'm going to help Courtney with the sides. The pair parted as Bridget moves on to her next chore before the party admiral approaches her. Bridgie Bear, Jeff says confidently, wanna bail from our groups and make out behind that tree? Sweetie, I can't. We need to focus on the challenge, but I can't stand being away from you, honey. It was hard enough watching you from the sidelines last season. Jeff protested. And what if one of the guys trick you like Al did in the Yukon? Don't worry, Trent and Cody are two of the nicest guys around. Oh, and rest assured, Ezekiel is definitely not a threat, Bridget assured her. Okay, I guess. Jeff reluctantly caved and proceeds back to his team. I'll try to cope. Bridget sighs and returns to work as Heather glares at her for what had transpired. Cut to the rabid skippers. With Tyler unconscious and Justin still in pain for his torn finger, the team had slowed down but close to their goal. Should we work on walling inside? When asked Alejandro, I'd think if we left it as is, we'd be able to earn rooming after winning a challenge, Alejandro assured. Set up the flagpole and that should do it, Noah announced. Come on, seafarers, it's been 8 hours, Chris shouted impatiently. Cut us some slack. 8 hours is rather impressive, actually, the bookworm annoyingly remarked. Cut to the killer captains. Hurry up and make a rudder, Heather ordered. The other teams are almost done. As Trent and Cody hurry to assemble it, Sierra gets an idea. "Sierra, where are you going?" Heather inquired. "I'll be right back." Cut to the screaming admirals. "Great job, admirals. Now push." DJ and Eva pushed the massive ship towards the ocean as Jeff, Duncan and Harold pulled. Gwen, Beth and Leshonna cheer them on. Fortunately, they were already close to water. Otherwise, pulling a ship almost the size of the Total Drama jumbo jet would have been a tad trickier. "Come on, Ginger Biscuit." Leshonna cheered. In no time at all, the Admiral ship made it to sea. "Looks like the screaming admirals set sail first," Chris announced as the team cheered. "All right, we won," Gwen exclaimed, hugging Duncan. "Don't be so sure, Gothy. I said both quantity of time and quality of the boat will be taken into consideration. And yours seem a bit rushed," Chris reminded. "You gotta be kidding me." Duncan groaned. "You'd think by 4 seasons you'd be used to this by now." Cut to the screaming admirals. "Sails in place. Let's head out." Alejandro ordered as Noah and Izzy brought the wounded aboard. With Owen pushing and Alejandro pulling, the boat gradually made it to sea. "Looks like the skippers have finished as well. Ooh, I like the carving design," Chris complimented. "What carving design?" Noah asked, finally noticing all the Izzy hieroglyphics carved onto their ship. Sometimes leaving Cadet Izzy alone with a knife is a good thing. Izzy proudly pointed out, "I'm leaning towards the skippers, but let's see how the killer captains are doing." Cut to the killer captains. "Arg, let's just hurry up and finish this," Heather yelled to her teammates. Cody puts in the final touches to the rudder. He then rushes to Ezekiel's side and helps pull the ship while Trent pushes. "Hurry up, men." And I use that term loosely, Courtney ordered, angering the 3 boys. "And where is Sierra?" In a few more minutes, the ship is finally pushed into water with the boys climbing up. Joining Heather, Courtney, Bridget and Katie, Chris notices the slowest team finally finishing. "It's about time." "Well, I guess your design is all right, but I am gonna have to give it to the Robbie." "Wait," Sierra screamed as she ran to her ship carrying something to the bow of the ship. "Let us put the final touch to our ship." Sierra attaches to the front of the ship a statue of Chris McLean she weaved at the last second. "There, how about now, Chris?" I stand corrected. "Victory to the killer captains," the egomaniacal host announced. The victorious team cheers while the others groan. Well, on that note, I am feeling generous. So there will be no eliminations today. The losing teams cheer up after hearing this. As for our winners, Chef, tell them what they won. Interior decorating during your stay at the next destination. Professional carpenters will install personal cabins, a bathroom, and a dining room for your fantastic maiden voyage, Chef formally announced. "Yes," Heather cheers. "Oh shoot, we forgot to put in a toilet." Gwen cries out, "And I have to use the potty." Alejandro subtly gritted his teeth. "Well, before you yachters begin your maiden voyage, I'm gonna give you all these pieces. They are quite similar to the ones you used at Drumheller," Chris says, as Chef throws one on each ship. "To get to your next destination, you all will have to do the steering and navigating yourselves. No unlicensed chef piloting for you this time." "You serious?" Duncan shouts at his moderately sociopathic host. "Hey, at least we are giving you all supply crates at every stop. Can't have you all starving to death before I am through with you, hee. As for me and Chef, we will be riding the chopper awaiting your ships at your next location. Now, without further ado, happy sailing. We will be awaiting you making port to your next destination and challenge." Chris and Chef take off on their helicopter. Cut to the screaming admirals. "Me and Gwen can navigate the ship for the night and we can rotate shifts from there," Duncan instructed. "You and Harold are so lucky," Jeff muttered. "Bridge never felt so far away from me. It's for the best, Jeff," Gwen comforted. "You and her kind of hold each other back in terms of competition." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Come down there, party boy. She only means that you get distracted easily," Duncan assured. Jeff only sighs and goes inside to the hollowed lobby they called the interior. Cut to the killer captains. "I have to say, we did pretty good today. Who wants to man the ship tonight?" Heather asked her team. "I'll do it," Ezekiel graciously offered. "Don't you touch anything," Heather snapped at him. "Isn't this romantic, Cody? You and me on a cruise, together." Sierra spoke romantically to her geeky crush. I'll navigate for the team, Heather." Cody suddenly felt the urge to volunteer. "Okay, I'll help you too, in case you get sleepy," Sierra eagerly offered. "No. I mean, we can't let him get distracted or we'll go off course," Heather stated. As soon as she proceeds to walk away, she shoves Ezekiel off the ship. "Help, man overboard," Homeschool yelled to his team as Cody instructed Sierra to help him. Meanwhile, inside the ship, Courtney is talking to Bridget, Trent and Katie. "Listen, you 3, I need you to help me get rid of Heather. I'm not sure, Bridget mentioned hesitantly. I mean, Heather had done some mean things, but I think by now we should at least give her a second chance. Bridget, I thought we were friends. And what about you, Trent? Don't you remember what she did to sabotage your relationship with Gwen? Trent shakes his head. Don't think that really matters anymore. Am I the only one who remembers all that Heather did? Well, I guess if I had to vote for someone, it would be her or Ezekiel, Katie pointed out. Let's just focus on winning and worry about who leaves first later, Bridget says, trying to ease the tension. Cut to the rabid skippers. Why don't you all hit the hay? I'll navigate for us tonight. It's the least I can do for all that I had done last season, Alejandro suggested to everyone on the deck of the ship. Wow, thanks Al, ungraciously waved goodnight to the Latin heartthrob before following everyone else inside the ship. Alejandro pointed at the screen. You're first, Owen. I will not buy into that Il's lies. This time, however, I will be much more subtle when dealing with him, Noah decided. Oh, what happened? Tyler asked, finally regaining conscience. Oh, sorry, Tyler. I accidentally bonked you in the head, Lindsay embarrassingly answered. Oh, I can't stay mad at the cutest girl in the world. Besides, you remembered my name. Oh, thank you, the blonde beauty said before embracing her uncoordinated boyfriend. Izzy, Justin hesitantly asks. Cadet Izzy, the psycho corrected. Cadet Izzy, can I have my fingernail back? Cadet Izzy ate it, Izzy shamelessly answered, leaving everyone speechless. The host appeared. Well, there you have it, our first challenge with no elimination. Will our young Salt's ships make it to all the numerous destinations, both new and familiar, or will they be visiting an early trip to Davy Jones' locker? Find out next time on Total Drama Luxury Tour. Well, there it is, folks. Let me know of what you think. Ending is uncertain, as is whether or not it will make it that far. You all can make the difference, though, always open to ideas and suggestions, but can only stretch with so much.